Conformity is the jailer of freedom and the enemy of growth. Hey there, how you guys doing today? Thanks for joining me for another episode of Bitcoin and Coffee. I'll be your host, Eugene Forrest. So, what are we looking at today with these crazy cryptocurrency markets? Well, we got another day of green, and I am thankful for that. As always, we got the Bitcoin price continuing to grow up. But hey, you know what? It's actually green across the entire board at this moment. Cryptocurrency is all going in an upward motion. We got a market cap coming in at $465 billion, getting real close to that $500 billion mark, which is always a plus in my book. We got about 25 billion traded in the last 24 hours. That's not bad at all. And we got the BTC dominance coming in at 35.3%. Like I said yesterday, the days of 50 and 80% BTC dominance are over now that this cryptocurrency market has expanded so large across the world, and we have so many different revolutionary technologies and blockchains coming into this, and all the ICOs and tokens and everything else. So, like I said, Bitcoin's up today about 6.1%. Always a plus. 9,700. I mean, wow, we're getting real close to that $10,000 mark. We got Tone Base saying that we might see some, little bit of downward pressure on the price at the 10,000 mark, so we might have a little trouble breaking it. But hey, you know what? That's actually all right with me. We really don't want to see these super gains right now. We'd like to see some slow, steady price increases so that we can actually set some floors in and not have any kind of a correction soon like we just got over. We need to see this price build up so that we can get up to $50,000 by the end of the year, right? Also on this note, here in America, tax time's coming up, and a lot of people say that the small investors don't really make that much of a movement in the Bitcoin price, but you know what a lot of small investors do? They hodl. So a lot of people here in the United States are probably going to be investing in some of their income tax because it's hard not to want to get in on these gains. And you know what? Hopefully they'll be hodling this stuff, making the amount of Bitcoin in circulation even smaller, making this stuff a lot harder to manipulate, and that's always a plus too. So all right, back on point though. We got Ethereum coming in on the other side of $900. That's awesome. I was hoping they were going to break that $900 barrier, coming in at $927. I mean, that's nowhere near your all-time high, but hey, we're all kind of far from that. But they're up 4.2%, about to break the day trading volume. But I mean, they're going somewhere. They're going to get back up there to $1,000 before you know it. We got Ripple. They're up today about 5%. So I mean, that's up a little more than standard day trading at the moment. They're up to $1.12. That's always a good price for them. Looks like we got some news coming up here on Ripple. So I mean, that's always a plus to help maybe pump that price up a little bit. We got Bitcoin Cash, $1,346. That's up 3.7%. Not as big of gains as we're looking at for the other top five, but I mean, that's still some gains, all right? You can't down a gain. And as always, got to talk about Steam, right? $4.41. That's up 2.22%. I mean, not as big as the rest, but hey, we're gaining. We're getting closer back to that $5 mark. You know I like my Steam at $5. We also got the Steam back dollar, though, making a little bit more headway today. They're up 5%, coming in at $5.47. Hey, that price is always all right with me. I love it when you guys help me get those Steam back dollars by coming over and upvoting my post. As always, if you guys aren't on Steam, you got to get over there. You got to collect that free cryptocurrency. I know you guys are tired of me saying it, but a lot of new people come over here and they're always asking about, how do I get Bitcoin? How do I get this? The faucets, they do seem like garbage because, I mean, it's less than a penny. It's the fact that I just set it on my web page browser, and every time that pops up, I just click it, collect a little bit, and pay no attention to it. And it adds up, especially as the price of Bitcoin goes up. But I mean, an easy way to make a lot more of this is you're using Twitter, you're using Snapchat, you're using Facebook. Why not just use Steam it and actually get a little something out of it? Because the Bitcoin you can trade it for today isn't worth a lot, but it's gonna be worth a lot later, and you'll be loving yourself for it. So what are we looking at here for news on Bitcoin and coffee? Whew, I need it today, right? So like I said, we got Ripple. They got some news coming out. Looks like they might be pairing with Western Union. This is kind of a test situation right now, but you know how test situations turn into the standard way before you know it. They're going to actually be pairing with Ripple to see if they can't do some sort of, peer-to-peer transfer type stuff. But I mean, what I found more fascinating about this is they might actually use the Ripple token, because we all know that the Ripple token isn't as widely used as a lot of people believe it is. They actually have a separate token that works in the background for their bank-to-bank transactions. And I mean, it looks like we're also looking at the Saudi Arabian banks pairing up here with Ripple as well. So I mean, it seems like a lot of larger companies are starting to pair with Ripple because, you know, like we keep saying, they're for the banks, they're with the banks, they're pretty centralized. That's really why I'm not loving them much and would never buy any. But a lot of people are invested in Ripple. I mean, they did make some super massive gains. It's just you got to be careful what you're investing in and know what you're in it. Not everybody's out there for the idealism that I am, but I mean, money's money, and you got to make it when you can make it, right? All right, so let's see. What else have I got for news? Well, I'm looking at South Korea. I think this news has been downplayed just a little bit because we're actually kind of getting the momentum going, and we don't really want to stop this as much. But South Korea is going to be issuing bit licenses. We're looking something similar to like what they have in the state of New York. You know, whether this is good or bad, that's, you know, that's your personal opinion. I know that it did help get some regulation going. It is what helped get Coinbase out there. It is what helped get, you know, the Kraken exchange moving and stuff. So, I mean, you know, these licenses are not necessarily the most easiest thing to get. It definitely is a form of government control, but it can also, on the flip side of the coin, help promote cryptocurrency, help other people get invested into it, especially in an easier fashion, because they'll be able to work with banks and regulation and all of that stuff. So they'll be clicks away instead of having to like go to local Bitcoins and go meet some shady guy in a coffee shop and trade him cash for a Bitcoin under the table. So, all right, so we got the next segment here coming up. My brother Mike is still hanging around, so we're going to be interviewing with the newbie, and he's going to come over, he's going to ask a couple questions, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. And remember, this is just me talking to my brother. This is not financial advice for anybody. So come on over, Michael. What kind of questions you got for me today?
Hey.
I let him have his coffee today, you guys. How you feeling today, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Got my coffee.
You liking it here in North Florida? A lot different than Chicago, huh?
This is beautiful. I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, I had a couple questions on crypto.
All right. Shoot away.
You can buy in 5, 10, 100, you know, dollar increments and stuff like that. I mean, you don't have to just go in full throttle.
Yeah, that's one of the big misconceptions. A lot of people, they go to Coinbase, they go through all of this, and it's not really explained to them that you can buy part of a Bitcoin. You don't actually have to buy a full Bitcoin. That's how a lot of people are confused, and they end up trying to buy Litecoin or Bitcoin Cash or Ethereum because they think they have to purchase these things in wholes. A Bitcoin breaks down to 8 decimal places, so I think you can buy as little as like $2 on Coinbase if you wanted. And that's how a lot of people try to do something what's called dollar cost averaging, and they purchase daily, weekly, or monthly, and that way you're buying it on the highs and you're buying it on the lows. So the stuff that you buy on the high, it becomes profitable when you buy something that's on the low. They kind of make up the difference so that you're constantly getting Bitcoin at an average price rate, so that you're looking for the long-term investment that later on, you know, you're not out or up money, really. You're just moving on the train going forward.
Cool.
All right, so what's up? What's the next question, my man?
Let's see. Another question I had, researching and cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. When I start, how do I start, and what is the best way to just get right into it, and, you know, just give it a good
It sounds like you're talking about being a trader, because a lot of people, they hear about Bitcoin and then they hear about these other coins and they want to start trying to get their hands on it. What you have to do to that is, you know, a lot of people are wondering, well, how do I buy Dash? How do I buy this? How do I buy that? I don't see it at Coinbase. And that's pretty much a situation of you buy your Bitcoin or you buy your Litecoin or whatever at Coinbase, and then you need to transfer it over to an exchange. An exchange is usually a third-party system where they go ahead and they'll have quite a few different coins where you can go ahead and you can trade from either Bitcoin or Ethereum, pretty much are the standards, and you can trade from those coins into a different coin, and you can hold them on the exchange for a little while, or you could see about getting a hardware wallet or paper wallet or whatever to be able to hold them more safely in your personal possession. But if you're going to hold them short-term, like a lot of these people are, you buy the coin on the exchange, you leave it there, you wait for the price to go up, and then you sell it back into Bitcoin or Ethereum. Then you take part of your profit and you move it into your hardware wallet and you hold on to that stuff for dear life. So what's your next question, man? Let's finish this up.
Let's see, the last question I got is, can I monitor the stuff on my cell phone, or are there alerts, and how do I understand charts and graphs?
There's all of that kind of stuff. One of my best recommendations is if you go over to Tone Base's webpage, he has a link there and he has videos to teach you how to read these charts. Usually if you don't have any kind of you know, background in candlestick reading, like if you're not in the stock market or anything like that, these things can be quite confusing. Trying to understand some of the technical analysis is hard to do when you're not sure what a hammer or a shooting star or a cup and handle, or just understanding what these terms are if you've never heard them. So understanding those, you can also YouTube video these things to just, you know, understand trading. It doesn't necessarily have to be crypto trading to understand the candlesticks. And then once you get that, there's all kinds of different apps you can download on your phone, or just the exchanges themselves usually keep a USD value and the percentage that's gone up and down in the last 24 hours. So there's many tools out there. A lot of people love to monitor their crypto and their gains and losses and what their overall portfolio looks like. You kind of just have to find the right one that's a good fit for you. Just always be aware of phishing scams. I really don't want to see anybody lose their cryptocurrency because they're trying to find a good tool to use and instead end up, you know, getting phished and losing their private keys. So thank you, Micah.
All right, sir.
Always. I'm sure everybody appreciates these questions. I try to answer them as best I can. So as always, you guys, thanks for coming on over to Bitcoin and Coffee. If you like what we got going on here, I need you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and share us out so everybody else can find our small little community over here. I've got a free desk help service that I'm trying to provide for you guys at eugeneforrest20@gmail.com. It's one of the best things I think I can do to help you guys out if you're new to cryptocurrency. Just shoot me your questions, ask me what's going on. I'll try to answer you the best I can. I'm not out here trying to make any money. I'm not out here trying to rip anybody off. I'm just a guy who's been in cryptocurrency since the halvening, been doing a lot from my life to make it better, and I want to see if I can't, you know, move it forward, pass it on. You know, if I got a little bit of knowledge I can share with you guys to help you guys out with cryptocurrency, I mean, that's a plus in my book, because if this stuff grows, then the little bit I got's doing even better, right? So as always, if you like everything that's going on, please subscribe, come on over to Steam it, upvote my post, and remember, you guys, keep your Bitcoin safe.